to talk. We got a lot to cover. I just heard a story on the news just seconds ago that, you'll find out in just a second because it's showtime.
It's 1977. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, indeed. My name is Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Welcome to the program. It is Tuesday morning, February 20th, 2024. We've got so much to cover and discuss and talk about today, including there's two big stories. Someone tried to bribe Clarence Thomas and Nikki Haley's press conference at noon, which I'm going to talk about. But I just heard a story on our top of the hour news, which is ABC News, which is national news. But on the national news at the top of the hour, they had a story that's local out of Fort Lauderdale. Did you guys hear this story? Do you know what I'm talking about? Now, here's the story is there's been measles outbreak at an elementary school in Fort Lauderdale. Now, I grew up in Fort Lauderdale. My mother lives in Fort Lauderdale. I love Fort Lauderdale. Best beach ever in Florida. I know people argue that others are better, but I think Fort Lauderdale, even though they like to build buildings that put shade over the beach. But anyway, listen to this. This was in the national news. But I'm reading from our local news here. Officials with Broward County Public Schools announced a fifth confirmed measles case at an elementary school in Weston. The additional case at Manatee Bay Elementary adds to the 4 reported Friday. Again, this is in the national news. And there's some other measles outbreaks at schools throughout America. And they tell you because people are not vaccinated. While that may be technically accurate, it's less than half of the story. Now, I'm going to open up the phones. I'm going to move into what I'm going to talk about before I heard this report at the top of the hour. But I'm going to throw out the phone, open up the phones to this, and see if anyone can figure this out. It should be the first call. Why do you think there's a measles outbreak? Or is it measles? Measles. Why is there a measles outbreak in Broward County schools? And why are measles outbreaks popping up around the country today? Why? I'm surprised they even did the story and left out 3/4 of the story. There is a reason why. I want to see if anybody here can figure it out. Our number 1-888-GO-CANE-1. I don't usually do those kind of things. That's usually what no talents that have nothing to say, that every second on the air is tick-tock, tick-tock, what am I going to do? I don't like to do those things. You know, a lot of people do that to kill time. I don't kill time, but I want to see if anyone can figure out. So the question is, what is the real reason that there's a measles outbreak in Fort Lauderdale? By the way, Weston is not Fort Lauderdale. Oh, my goodness. Everything, to people outside of South Florida, everything in Florida is Fort Lauderdale, Miami, or Disney World. It's west of Fort Lauderdale. That's why it's called Weston, but it's not Fort Lauderdale. Not by far. It's not even close to Fort Lauderdale. Same county. But why? What is the real reason that there is a measles outbreak? Our number is 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. And the phones are ringing, and I know that the first person that I go to is going to have the answer to this, right? It's going to. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Richie, the bus driver.
Oh, hey, Richie.
The reason is this. Because the press won't report it, but there's a double standard. All these people coming in, all these kids being just coming over the border, just being fed to every state in the union with no vaccinations from all over.
Correct, the illegals, because they're not vaccinated. And it's the illegals, and when they come into the country, maybe they give them a whole bunch of vaccinations, but vaccinations take years. I mean, when you have a kid, I remember my daughter, I was taking her to the pediatrician when she was like 18. She was still getting vaccinations from that, all these things before they start school. It's because of the illegals. So while it is accurate for the news, and by the way, it's not just ABC News at the top of the hour. I did a quick search. Everyone's saying this, unvaccinated kids in the schools. While that is technically accurate, it leaves out the meat of the story, which is our schools are filled with illegals who don't have vaccinations for measles or the chicken pox. So all of these, tuberculosis, yes, VD's probably going to come back. The thing is, these are things that we I had the chicken pox when I was 5. Okay? Most people have never had them. That was in the 70s. I never had the measles. In fact, I don't know, none of my friends or family had them. These old things that we have wiped out are now back because of Joe Biden's open border. This is disgusting.
It is. It's the double standard in this whole situation.
I'm looking at Channel 10. Here are the signs to look out for the measles. Yeah, if you got illegals in your kid's school, that's the first sign that there may be measles there.
Well, when you fly back, like when you go to visit Jordan, California, because I've been listening to people calling in, like people coming from New York to Florida. These planes are full of the people that are illegal and get free plane tickets from the government. All over this damn place.
Yeah, my ticket wasn't free.
No, you pay. That's what I'm saying. It's a double standard. You have to go through. You have to go through this. Get tested with your shoes and everything else. Make sure you don't have the.
Guess what? They're also saying the mumps are back. The mumps. I don't even know what that is. I know. I used to watch. Our Gang. Spanky, Alfalfa, and all that stuff, and and they used to get the mumps and the Little Rascals. But we wiped out the mumps like 100 years ago. Now the mumps are back.
Well, let me tell you something. This is going to pertain to this. I went to St. Augustine, right? I went to the Fountain of Youth, and they had a lecture. And if you ever go up to St. Augustine, you'll see these old graves of people, and they all died about the same time. You know why they died? Because the native people here, they didn't expect that the Europeans were going to bring all these diseases in, and they weren't.
Yeah.
And they died of yellow fever.
Yellow fever? I thought that went out with Napoleon. What yellow fever?
Everything is.
Listen to this. This is in the local news. Dr. Chad Sanborn, a pediatric infectious disease specialist at South Florida-based Kids Medical Services, says this is a frustrating development, the measles. There's a possibility that this could spread to the point that it's no longer eradicated in the United States, he says. Even mild cases of measles, the kids are often pretty sick. So it's more common than the common cold at some point, more than even chickenpox in many cases. The doctor said parents, especially if their children are unvaccinated, should keep an eye out for the initial symptoms. And he goes, keep your kids out of school with illegals. That's where they're coming. And come on.
We have a situation like you have with your wife, her health condition. Okay, she's very susceptible. What is she going to do? Hibernate in her house for the rest of her life?
And where's Ron DeSantis? Has he stopped whining and crying about being run out of the presidential race? Take care of the measles epidemic, DeSantis. Get off your high heels. Get down here to Broward County and get the measles out of our schools. This is, listen, this is what I'm curious about, because we've been vaccinated from the measles and all that stuff. Can we still get it? I mean, this might be some new strain. I don't know anything about the measles.
Yeah, I don't either. I tell you the truth. It's not just the measles. It's every other disease in the world.
Oh, that's great.
Coming here with TB, tuberculosis.
Yeah, bubonic plague will be. I mean, this. Let me tell you, this story of the measles is a national story. I know the story is based in our own local area in Fort Lauderdale, but I heard this at the top of the hour news, which is national news, which is ABC News. This is a national story, and while I heard that, I only had like 30 seconds till I went on the air. I did a quick Google News search. every story I saw has the story and blames unvaccinated parents and kids. They don't mention illegals, undocumented, open border, nothing. And you're going to hear it first right here on this program. I mean, this is just outrageous.
Well, there's also polio that's actually come back to.
Polio's back. Polio. How do doctors even diagnose these old diseases and illnesses that we've eradicated? How do they even know what that is? You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is hey, we're being fed what they want us to. They feed us what they want us to know, but the people like you expose it, and anyone with a brain has to know that if these schools are being flooded with all these kids from all over the world that have no vaccinations whatsoever, it's like putting a dog.
I remember when I moved to Florida, I moved the summer before 5th grade and began 5th grade here in Florida. And I remember my first day because I had to go to the office with my proof of vaccinations from Ohio before they would let me go to class.
I'm gonna part with you with this. I want you to think about this. You have dogs and animals. If you want to board your dog, you have to show papers to the boarding place.
The vaccinations.
That your dog has vaccinations. Kennel cough. They keep a dog safer than they do our kids. This is disgusting.
I had to get my I had to get my cat fixed, so she can't have kittens, and I had to prove that she was vaccinated before I could get her fixed. It's part of the thing. I couldn't even bring her to the but no, not people with your kids in the school.
You can't board a dog, but you can put kids into schools with unvaccinated kids.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's sick. These are and some of you may think I'm making too big of a deal out of this. We eradicated our society of measles. Don't you understand? They've been gone. How many of you in this audience? And I don't want to hear from some old timer. Okay, I'm talking about someone under the age of 65. Okay, although that's old, but 65. As you get older, 65 ain't what it used to be. But someone under the age of 60, 65, have you or someone in your immediate family had measles? I don't know anyone in my family that's had the measles. Now, I had the chicken pox in 76, and I do remember some kids having the chicken pox, but my daughter never had the chicken pox, and none of her friends ever had the chicken pox. I don't remember any of my friends having the measles. The only time I saw the measles was like on TV shows, like old shows, like the Little Rascals and such. So these diseases that we rid ourselves of in the mid-20th century are back. Great job, Biden. You're bringing in the fentanyl. You're bringing in the sex trafficking. You're bringing us war and inflation and all this stuff. That wonderful job, Biden. Gee. All right, we'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hi, this is Maureen Cohen from Nutrition World Palm Beach Gardens. We're so excited to be celebrating 50 years here in South Florida. The Cohen family started their first health food store in 1972, and ever since have been one of the largest locally owned, family-run health food stores in the area. We carry thousands of supplements like vitamins, minerals, herbs, homeopathics, diet and fitness, and so much more. All your favorite top-quality brands. We also have tons of natural foods like gluten-free, paleo, and organic, as well as health and beauty aids, pet foods, and more. Visit Vanessa, Trish, Dunson, Scott, and Bruce. They're here 7 days a week for all your family's natural health needs. So stop by Nutrition World at the northeast corner of PGA Boulevard and Prosperity Farms Road in the Carmine's Market Plaza by the Prosperity entrance. You can call us or text us anytime at 561-626-4377.
Unreal.
626-4377. Or check out our website at nutritionworld.com. Come see us 7 days a week at Nutrition World Palm Beach Gardens.
With the Homeowners Association, if your roof is old or compromised, you need to call Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting. With a AAA credit rating and bonded up to $10 million, Laporta Contracting doesn't need a large deposit like those other contractors do. Typical deposits
Insanity.
contract. If your job is $30,000, that's a $10,000 deposit. If your job is $300,000, that's $100,000. What are they doing with your money? Typically, it takes 3 to 4 weeks to get a permit, and HOAs much longer. If they need money for the
Oops. We'll be back shortly, guys. I'll get into the John Oliver thing and Nikki Haley in just a bit. I mean, I didn't expect to hear that story at the top of the hour news.
On 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at True Oldies FM.
All right, callers on hold, stand by. You know, the free shipping on all items at MyPillow.com site-wide with our promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout continues. And remember, you get the special deal plus free shipping, no matter how large or small. And I just want to tell you, I found out quite by accident this last week. My wife was not feeling too well, thought she might have a cold or a flu, so I went and slept on our guest bed in our guest room. And, of course, we have the MyPillow mattress topper, and I slept there a few nights. And let me tell you, you know, being married 27 years, sleeping alone, you sleep kind of well sleeping alone, just, you know. But I didn't realize this until I took all the sheets and blankets off the bed to remake it. Our guest bed has the 2-inch MyPillow mattress topper. We have the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper 2.0 on the marital bed, but on our guest bed, we have the 2-inch MyPillow mattress topper, which I did not know. And I'll tell you, a lot of people ask me about the 2-inch mattress topper. How good is it? And I slept on it a couple nights last week. I didn't even know the difference between that and the 3-inch. I had no idea. And you know, the 2-inch MyPillow mattress topper is 50% off with our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. 50% off, and you get that free shipping. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. I am going to get into this Clarence Thomas bribe attempt in a few minutes. Don't worry, guys. But I want to finish up in this segment, if you're on hold, hang in there, with this measles outbreak in Broward County. Broward County is the most corrupt county in the state of Florida. It, in fact, may be more politically corrupt than Cook County, Chicago. I mean that. I grew up in Fort Lauderdale, Broward County. I got out of there years ago. It's a terrible place. But the school board of Broward County, I don't know who's on it now, but the school board of Broward County has a big role in the massacre at Parkland years ago. They brought in this guy with the Obama connections. Remember that program, My Brother's Keeper? Oh, we're not going to report crime that happens at our schools. No. Then we have zero crime in our schools. Now, they had some critical race theory BS behind it, but if we don't record any crime, we have crime-free schools on the books. And it allowed Nicholas Cruz, that monster, insane animal murderer, to just run free, make threats, and all kinds of stuff, and nothing happens. Okay? So, the school board of Broward County, I don't know who's on it now. I have no idea who's on it now. But they have a history of corruption. In fact, I'll tell you, Steve and I used to be on the Broward County School Board Diversity Committee, right? The person that, well, one of the school board members got busted for taking bribes. You know, at the time. It was one of the ones that Steve and I were friends with, too. I don't want to say their name. It's been a few years. I don't know. I'm sure they're out by now, probably trying to get their life back together. But there was an investigation done at the school board many years ago when Rick Scott was governor. Rick Scott commissioned somebody to investigate the school board over something, and the recommendation was every member should be removed for corruption. But I don't know who's on there now. But I do know this. Broward County is a corrupt Democrat county. Okay? That's it. And what does that mean? They love illegals in the schools. And Ron DeSantis, you need some good press, Ron DeSantis, okay? MAGA hate you because you're a liar, a traitor, and the high heel transitioning thing. You know, people, get down to Broward County and find out what the heck is going on, Governor. Not that he's listening, but I'll talk like he's listening, right? Maybe somebody that has his ear is listening. I ran into somebody at Mar-a-Lago the other night that listens to the program. It blew me the freak away. I was very impressed with myself and Steve that they listened to the show, this particular person that you all know. I promise you, everybody knows this person. Not going to tell you who other than that, well, that you all know him. Get down here, find out what the heck's going on. The measles are back in your state, Ron DeSantis. The measles are back. Let me tell you, this is in Weston. Okay? Weston's fancy area. Fancy area, fancy people. Probably liberal, because it's Broward County. So I don't know. But I know this. If there was a measles outbreak at my kid's school, I'd be all over it. And if Ron DeSantis, if there was a measles outbreak at his kid's school, he'd be all over it. And he should. But he should be down here too. And there needs to be a real discussion of why it's happening. Yes, unvaccinated illegals. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi there, Louise, the masked lady in Boca. Richie beat me to it. I was going to say the same darn thing, and I'm really worried about polio and TB.
Yeah, tuberculosis. And what I was talking with, I had a full board of calls. I mean, it was obvious answer. It's like saying, what's 2 + 2? But, the thing about it is, these old diseases, doctors haven't seen these diseases, except in textbooks, right? So how do they even recognize it? How does a young doctor recognize polio or the mumps or the measles? Because they've never seen these things. These are ancient.
And the old timers like me, I never got a polio vaccination. So,
old people can old people die from these? What's going on here, it's like, all those people that opened up King Tut's tomb died. The curse of King Tut's tomb. And what many believe is that there was some old disease that was floating around in the tomb and everybody got sick from it, right? Well, that's what the measles are like in the Broward County schools now. These are really things that we rid America of, and now they're back, baby, and it's not a coincidence that it's in a Democrat county.
I hope people realize this when they go to the polls.
Yeah. I agree. And shame on the news for not pointing out what I'm pointing out. They'll probably call me a bigot for pointing, but everybody knows. When you first heard that story, I'm sure that's the first thing that pops in everybody's head. Illegals.
Absolutely. It's a disgrace.
Yeah. I appreciate it. Yeah, now I don't even know how they spread. How do measles even spread? All right, we're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour, and when we get back, your calls are certainly welcome on this, but I'm going to get into this bribe attempt on Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. A bribe attempt was made to Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, a great man. We'll talk about that right after this.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're going to really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show.
Insane. The retail theft legislation, he said, well, call me in, mean Mr. Mustard. George! Thank you so much, George. Appreciated. Yeah, this is Fannie Willis corruption down here. I mean, this is, Broward County is very corrupt. Yeah, thank you very much, George. Insanity. We'll be back in seconds. If you're on hold, hang in there.
26.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 47 years on the air.
That's right, 47 years, and the year our president is reelected as the 47th president. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Our number toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Just for update. You're welcome to call in on the illegal measles outbreak in Broward County schools. But I do want to get into this bribe attempt of the great Clarence Thomas. You know, Clarence Thomas, he's an amazing man. You know what this guy has gone through? I remember when he got appointed by Bush 41, he replaced Thurgood Marshall. And Thurgood Marshall was the first black Supreme Court justice who argued in front of the Supreme Court the Brown versus Board of Education case. I think he was an attorney for the NAACP. And you know what? I never went back and looked this up. I bet you when, I could be wrong about this, when was Brown versus Board of Education? 1950 what? Hold on a second. Let me look this up. Okay. Let me see what year that was. It was in the 50s. I can't remember what year. 54... Didn't he argue? Didn't Thurgood Marshall argue that case in front of the Supreme Court? Let me look that up. I know he argued one of the big segregation cases, and that one popped in my head. I haven't thought about him in so long, but it's important. We're live. Let's see here. Let me just go through. Yeah, he argued the Brown versus Board of Education, which ended separate but equal, Democrat segregation. I bet you Thurgood Marshall was a Republican back in those days. Now, he was appointed by Lyndon Johnson. He may have become a Democrat, but I just have a feeling that a black man in 1954 that was arguing against segregation would have been a Republican. Does anyone know? Does anyone know that? I'll read through his bio during the next break. But Clarence Thomas was appointed to replace Thurgood Marshall when he died, and I remember the left had a fit. The media just had a fit. What was that, like 91 or something? And they had decided right then and there that Clarence Thomas wasn't black. You know, this thing when Biden said to Charlemagne to God, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Well, he didn't invent that. You know, and they were saying that Clarence Thomas wasn't black in 91 and decided that that was a seat for a black Democrat. Well, we showed them. And Clarence Thomas, they hate him. They hate him. You know what this guy has been put through? Oh, my goodness. You know, he married Rush to, I think, his first wife. Didn't he marry Rush to his first wife? I'm pretty sure it was his first wife. It had to be. But anyway, Clarence Thomas, they're after this guy, and they want him to, you know, they hate his wife because his wife is MAGA. She was one of the original Tea Party people. And all of a sudden, they want to go to the background of spouses and say that disqualifies them. They want Biden to get, you know, to be able to get an appointment, right? I mean, we've got a very Republican Supreme Court, and then this John Oliver. I've never watched John Oliver's show, but he offered on his program a $1 million a year bribe to Clarence Thomas if he would resign. This is in The Hill. Comedian and Last Week Tonight host John Oliver is urging Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas to resign, offering him $1 million per year to do so. And he also offered him a very nice RV because Clarence Thomas, I don't know if Clarence Thomas still does this, but he used to. He and his wife used to RV around the country. John Oliver argued against the conservative justice during the 11th season premiere of his weekly show, saying Clarence Thomas had made the lives of Americans worse. He also promised him a brand new luxury recreational vehicle if he steps down. And I know what people are saying today. Oh, you've got no sense. He was joking. It wasn't a real bribe. He's a comedian. It was a bit. It wasn't a real bribe. What are you talking about? He tried to bribe Clarence Thomas. Well, I've got news for you. The media and the left and the Democrats have decided that any joke or any sarcasm uttered by the greatest president ever, Donald Trump, that it's statement policy, right? He made a joke, which is a very common joke, about Megyn Kelly bleeding, and then all of a sudden they got dirty minds, thought something. He had that one reporter who was making fun of him and then, attacking him, and he made fun of the reporter in a funny way, and they said he was making fun of his disability. He made this sarcastic joke the other day about Russia and NATO, and they're talking about it with retired rear admirals who were talking about the policy, the implications of NATO and the alliance and all this because of the joke. They've decided that any joke that Trump makes is not a joke. They've decided that sarcasm no longer exists, and that a joke or sarcasm, which is humor too, is a joke as well, is to be taken literally. Literally. The great Charlie Kirk made a joke. That airline executive, I played the clip, I can't remember what airline it was. Remember, he said, we're going to have 50% of our pilots are not going to be the best pilots. They're going to be black, transgender, and this, and all these things. And Charlie Kirk made a joke. Well, I don't know if I'm on a plane flown by a black pilot. Is that affirmative action? Is he the best? I don't know if I want to fly. Oh, he's a racist. And they're after Charlie Kirk. So either sarcasm and humor exist and are allowed, or they're to be taken literally. And since Trump came down the escalator, like going on 9 years ago, they've said sarcasm is to be taken literally. Humor is to be taken literally. Someone makes a joke, it's a serious statement and confession. Okay? So if that's the standard they're applying to President Trump and to Charlie Kirk, why not John Oliver? Right? I mean, does anyone actually believe that Donald Trump says, hey, Putin, take whatever NATO country you want. If they don't pay their dues, they're all yours, baby. Come on, Vlad. Does anyone believe that? Of course not. Sarcasm. Oh, no, I saw Liz Cheney. Oh, well, and they got Nikki Haley. Oh, well, the NATO alliance is, unsafe because of this. If jokes, if sarcasm, if humor is to be taken as serious statements, then John Oliver should be arrested for offering on national television a bribe of a sitting Supreme Court justice, the great Clarence Thomas. And I don't think that's a stretch. And and by the way, why do they have all these foreigners talking about American politics? He's got the British accent. One of the reasons that the left like liberal jerks with English accents, the English accent, if it's a proper British accent, makes all their liberal crap sound more intelligent. But I looked up this guy, John Oliver, and he went to Cambridge. He went to Christ College in Cambridge. I've never watched his show. See, I don't listen to foreigners talk about American politics. I don't care. I'm not going to listen to some redcoat. Yeah, redcoat, just like Pierce Morgan. I'm not going to listen to some redcoat tell us who should be on our Supreme Court. I'm not going to listen to some redcoat tell us who should be our president. And by the way, you said that Clarence Thomas has done all these terrible things. It's your people, the redcoats, that brought slavery to the New World. We ended it. You began it. And also Cambridge, that's like a CIA school. So I don't trust anyone who went to Cambridge that's a Democrat. Give me a break. And I'm not being too hard on this guy. Either humor or sarcasm is to be taken literally, and people are to be held accountable for their jokes and their sarcasm, or not. If you think Trump was serious, as the entire liberal media do, and the Democrats, because they spent all weekend on the Sunday shows talking about this, that Trump said to Putin, you can take any NATO country that doesn't pay their dues, well, then John Oliver should be arrested. And by the way, bribing a federal official is punishable by a lot of time in prison. It's got to be 15 to 20 years in the slammer. And you know what? In federal lockup, you got to do 80% of your time before you're eligible for parole. You know, they put William H. Macy's wife and that girl that was in Full House, they went to prison for academic dishonesty, cheating. Imagine. This guy's offering $1 million a year for life, plus this incredible RV, if he'll just resign so that Biden gets... I agree. Humor no longer exists. Sarcasm is to be taken literally. John Oliver offered a bribe on national television. Thank you very much for documenting your crime. What kind of idiot documents their crime? I want to hear your thoughts on this as well. We're going to take our last break of the first hour. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Our number toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-GO-KANE-1. 888-465-2631. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on
If you're on hold, hang in there, guys. All right, callers on hold, stand by. The number 1-888-COCAINE-1, 888-465-2631. I want to go to this great offer from Sloman's where you have the opportunity to get a free doorbell camera like I have. You want this thing. It's absolutely amazing. I mean, the main thing I use it for is it saves me from all of these door-to-door salesmen. Do you guys have those in your neighborhood? They are the worst. But I like it because no matter where I go, like on our cruise in April, no matter where we are, the 7 Seas, on a Caribbean island, any movement of my door, I get a notification and I can take a look and see who's there. It's really amazing. And Sloman's, they're offering you a free home security system, which is valued at $1,500. with professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. They give you an LED touchscreen pad, a motion detector, 10 entry points, a lifetime service plan, professional installation, and backup battery. And you'll also get a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman Shield. Here's the number, 1-833-283-5050. 1-833-283-5050. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. Ben from Pompano.
Hey, Ben.
Hey, so I think you actually pointed to something that was that Republicans should do, and that is when you said about John Oliver, you should really be taking the task over of the bribe he made. I mean, the moment that Republicans would do something like that is the moment that they understand the same games the Democrats played, and I would actually start having faith in the Republican Party if they actually had the fortitude to do something like that. But our main problem is the left keeps going more and more wild with more and more crazy tactics, and the right just keeps, for the most part, not people like Trump or America First, but for the most part, the rhinos just keep crossing their arms and saying, well, we're not going to think to their level, we're not doing tit for tat like Bill Barr said, and so I think it would be actually a very good idea if they went after John Oliver, subpoena him, and then if he doesn't show up, do him contempt of court. Show him we're not messing around anymore. Show them.
Well, this is what I know. Okay, when Donald Trump makes a joke, they consider it a literal statement of a policy intention. I watched 3 days of discussion about how Putin can take his pick of any NATO country to conquer, and Trump says it's okay, gave him the go-ahead. So if that's the standard, John Oliver offered to bribe a high-ranking federal official. I think that's like 15, 20 years in prison and a massive fine. And I don't. Since we no longer have jokes, humor, or sarcasm, I don't think I'm being out of line here.
No, you're not. And the thing is, the Democrats, everything they do is intentional. They know they're simply trying to convince. The reason they call people Nazis and white supremacists when there's none of that is they know if they say it long enough and loud enough that the people, the low-information voters who don't pay attention, who don't listen to shows like this, will eventually be like, oh, well, white supremacy, Nazis, I don't like that. And so they make these lies, these intentional lies, like Trump made fun of this person for having mental challenges. They know that enough people will believe it. I just had this happen the other day where my girlfriend, she doesn't follow politics at all, but she leans over to me about the immigration bill. She says, oh, I heard Republicans rejected it because they just wanted to score political points to make Biden look bad. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, the people who don't follow politics are going to believe what the Democrat talking points because the media always pushes it.
That's right.
That's what most low-information voters hear is, like, the constant hum of the media when they check in briefly into what's going on in the culture and the country. So I think we need to start playing that game, but unfortunately we have rhinos.
Well, no, people like me and you, if we spread this story about John Oliver and his attempted bribe of sitting Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, maybe somebody will wake up.
I think you're right, because I just saw this the other day, and Charlie Kirk might have pointed it out, but it was in regards to the immigration bill, all the senators Republican senators under the age of 55 who voted, everyone Republican senator under the age of 55 voted no. So what he was pointing to is that younger Republicans are waking up. These old, stiff losers who, like, the age of,
Well, they're all on the take. They're all on the take.
Yeah, right. But we have young MAGA fighters, the younger Republicans. Like, I don't know, I think his name is Gavin Marceau or something. He's the head of the Republican Party in New York.
Mm-hmm.
All the younger Republicans are actually fighters. They were the generation inspired by Trump and his new approach to actually being a real Republican and taking care of the Democrats the way they need to be taken care of. So I think there is some promise there with younger guys, but it's going to be a while because we got to get people like Mitt Romney out. I don't know if you remember Jeff Flake from Arizona.
Yep.
Terrible. McCain. All these losers. They're just losers. McChaney's and Bushes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. All right, hey, Lil, I appreciate the call. Thanks so much. Now, Joy Behar over at the Coven of the View said something really stupid. Listen to this. This is Joy Behar.
Because I know history, and Putin will not stop at Ukraine. No, they don't. If we don't help them, Putin's getting paranoid. And Trump.
Hear these cackling women? Yeah, you know, my pretty, and your little dog too.
Because I know history, and Putin will not stop at Ukraine. No, they don't. If we don't help them, Putin's getting paranoid. And Trump is saying that he's going to pull out of NATO. These are our allies. We were all in this together in World War II, and now he's going to pull out of this. Outrageous.
Oh my gosh, outrageously stupid. NATO did not exist until after World War II. I know history, and NATO defeated. It didn't exist, stupid. You should remember it better than me. You were there, you old lady. Oh my goodness. And that's national TV. You know, The View is under the umbrella of the news division of ABC. It's part of ABC News. That's right, Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar. You know, but the reason I play that is not to share Joy's stupidity, Joy Behar's stupidity, is to point out that how serious they took this sarcasm that Trump made about NATO the other day. This is like day 3 or 4 of that discussion on The View yesterday. And I don't care if people were... I laugh. When Trump makes his jokes, I laugh. You laugh. When he said the thing about Megyn Kelly bleeding, that's a common thing. That's an old expression that people use. But see, when people hate... I have this in my business. You know, I have people that have been following me, sometimes a year, sometimes 30 years, that have been following me in my... broadcasting career that hate me, but they've been following me for years, some of them. You know, it's amazing. And no matter what I do, they'll find something wrong with it. You know, it's like Trump derangements. When you're consumed with hate, you see wrong in everything someone does. One of the funniest memes I ever saw was in Trump's first term, and it was a picture of Anderson Cooper, CNN, and they had like a headline under him on the screen for CNN. Trump cures cancer. Trump puts doctors out of work, right? Oh, he cured cancer. What did he put those doctors out of work? That Trump, you know. That's how sick they are. Trump derangement syndrome is a sickness, and it's hate. Okay? It's hate. And another thing that this idiot Joy Behar talked about was the domino theory with Russia. Now, here's my question to this coven of people there on the View. What country did Putin invade when Trump was president in his first term? It's a simple question, simple answer. Zero. He invaded Crimea when Obama was president, and of course he invaded Ukraine while this senile old coot is president. He didn't invade any countries when Trump was in office, did he? No. And then she goes through, well, I know, and one country falls, and then the domino theory. I bet you this old liberal hack, okay? And by the way, in Florida, I have a Florida accent. In Florida, hack is spelled H-A-G. I just don't want to say it. This old witch, you know, witch is also spelled with a B, by the way, in Florida. But with the Florida accent, the B is silent and it sounds like a W. This old witch, it's true. That's what happens when you move to Florida. Yeah, like they say, and like we say rodeo, but in California they say Rodeo Drive, right? It's kind of like that. Joy Behar expressed the domino theory of the fear of Russia. I bet you that this old witch, back in the Vietnam War era, when she was going around in blackface, remember that one, Joy Behar? Going around in blackface to parties out in public? That was nice. You know, I bet you those that were in favor of the war in Vietnam expressed that domino theory. Oh, if they're there, next thing you know, if they take over Saigon, next will be Brooklyn. And you got these people that were talking about the fallacy and stupidity of the domino theory then, and now they argue it to make their case. Find Ukraine on an unlabeled map, these hags at the View. I'd love to see that. Hacks. I said it with my New York accent. Hag. Yeah. Hacks. Hags is how they say it elsewhere. All right, we'll take our break for the top of the hour. We've only just begun. There's so much more to cover. My name is Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. On the radio since 1977, celebrating 47 years on the radio. Our number one, 888-GO-KANE-1. Back after this.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK. HD3 Indiantown. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. Broadcasting from the Rogue Studio. Injured recently, call the Rogues Law Group, where winning is a habit. 561-570-5700. 561-570-5700. Rogues, winning for you and our community.
If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe, guys. Oh my goodness. This next story is just... Oh, let's see if they do the measles story again. Let's see if they do the measles story again.
Surge in measles in the U.S.
An elementary school near Fort Lauderdale is now reporting 5 students with measles. Meanwhile, 9 cases have been reported in the Philadelphia area since December, all involving unvaccinated people. So far this year, at least 1 case has been reported in 12 states. Measles spreads in the air when an infected person coughs or sneezes. Symptoms include fever, cough, runny nose, and a distinctive rash. But severe cases can lead to brain swelling, pneumonia, or even death.
ABC's Allison Cossack. Big doings in banking. Capital One announced that...
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I thought they were going to say it. They said and I thought they were going to say documented, but they said vaccinated. Here we go. All right. Callers on hold, stand by. We'll go back to the phones in just a moment. I want to recap the top story today because I just heard it again on our top of the hour news, which is national news. A elementary school near Fort Lauderdale, it's in Weston. They have 5 cases of the measles due to the unvaccinated, they say. It's the undocumented, the unlegal, okay? The illegals, they come here, they're not vaccinated for anything. And they bring old conditions that we wiped out. And measles, I've never known any, as I say, I've never known anyone with measles. I listen very carefully to the news report. Measles are transported by the air? Oh my goodness. Measles are transported by the air? Ron DeSantis, do your job. Please do your job. Get over it. You lost. We're not going to forgive you or forget, but you can do your job. You're the governor. Or turn it over. Let's have a special election, make Don Jr. governor. But this is outrageous. Also, Philadelphia. Do you know what the Philadelphia area have in common with Broward County? Where these Democrats. Democrat-run areas. That's right. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi.
Yes.
This is Charlotte from Indiana.
Charlotte in Indiana. Good morning. What's on your mind?
Well, I was reading this article that I want to just read slightly to you and see what you think. This article was in January 20, 2022. President Joe Biden's prediction that Russia invade Ukraine and his suggestion that the West's response could be more muted for a minor incursion drew swift criticism, and then with some saying he gave Russia the green light to attack.
I don't know. Send it to me. I don't know. It's open phones is on Friday. I appreciate the call, Sean. Take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, this is Daniel from Kentucky.
Daniel in Kentucky. What's up?
Yeah, I was just calling in about the disease thing, communicable disease. I was diagnosed with measles when I was 4-year-old. And I remember being very, very sick, and my parents were thinking I might, pass away at that age. And, we didn't have vaccinations till we started school. Therefore, and they called it the German measles, so therefore that's an ethnic disease.
Oh, no, you can't. German measles, don't blame the good German people for some. What year did you have the measles?
I'm 60, going on 66-year-old, and I had, around probably 61.
So around 61, and so you're older than me by far, and I've never known anyone personally that's had the measles ever.
That my parents were very, very concerned,
Well, the measles can kill, and I'm very concerned. In Florida, we have the oldest population in America. And many of our old timers, I don't know, when did measles vaccinations begin in America? I don't know. I remember getting them in school.
I really don't know when the vaccinations. I know when I started school, the health department came around with permission slips to have you vaccinated.
Yeah, we used to do that too. But now they do it though before you start school, right? They do that before.
Smallpox shot, where they poke you in the arm and leave that burn-looking scar on you.
Yeah, I got that too. It hurt like heck. The one with that little round thing, I remember getting that by the school nurse. It hurt. But now, see, by the time kids start school, they've been vaccinated for all these things now, right? And they get boosters for some things. But the illegals aren't vaccinated for anything, and they're and our schools passing diseases on that we rid our society of. I mean, you had it like at 64.
Yeah, 60, somewhere around there, 61, 2, 3, 4. But, and another thing is our local hospital was closed. Quarantine wasn't closed, but it was quarantined at one time for...
Yeah. But you're talking about, I mean, think about it. You were a little kid, so you can't remember exactly when, but we can narrow it down. Either Kennedy or Johnson were president, and Johnson would would have been in his first term, maybe even finishing up Kennedy's term. That's how long ago it was. And now something that we rid America of before Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin walked on the moon is back, thanks to Joe Biden. Appreciate the call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. Sherry from Texas. How you doing?
All right, Sherry.
Yeah, you're dead on that. I read something. My son noted me last night. He came out and he said, "Hey, Mom, I'm reading here on an article in New York." He said, "Did you know that they paid out over $10 million to treat the sick illegal immigrants coming across the border?" And at 30 years old, my son went into cardiac arrest as a pacemaker defibrillator. Didn't have insurance at the time. Called or applied for state assistance to get help with this medical issue, and he was denied. Okay, being 57 years old, I remember signing a permission slip, just like the previous caller said, to be lined up on the wall of the gymnasium of my elementary school and being vaccinated.
Yeah, me too. But now, you know, because vaccinations for these things were new when we were kids, now our kids got all those vaccinations before school started, and then we would sometimes take them to the pediatricians for boosters and such. But it's not just the kids aren't vaccinated, their parents aren't either. So these illegals are coming into our communities, into our schools, and they've been vaccinated for nothing. And they bring with them diseases that we rid our society of. I mean, my goodness, and it's terrible.
My question is we are enrolling one of our grandsons in school.
Oh, goodness.
We need your Social Security number. We need your birth certificate. We need your record of all vaccinations.
Utility bill, too. Make sure you're a resident of the district. Yeah.
Exactly. How the hell, excuse my language, but how the hell are these illegal immigrant children being slid underneath the radar into our schools in the first place? And DeSantis, yeah, he needs to get off his duff and do something down there in Florida. But this is in the hands of whoever's behind the big blue curtain of the White House and Biden.
Yeah.
For allowing this to happen.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And let me tell you, okay, you know, a kid can be exposed to these things, come home and give it to their grandparents, and God knows what that would do to an elderly person, these things that we have rid our society of. And I don't know if these measles are like the measles that we were vaccinated for. Have they mutated and are more severe? Would our vaccinations protect us? I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but I know this. The media are leaving out the main part of the story. It's not the unvaccinated, it's the undocumented, the unlegal.
Exactly. I mean, you take a look at your wife, who is chronically ill. You take a look at anybody that has a chronic illness. If they get a whiff of this, that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, with it.
You know, and I'll tell you, you know, with my wife's condition, my wife's got a very serious illness. And when I go and do anything that involves the public, I mean, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but when I go anywhere that, and like when I flew recently, or I come back from the cruise, or I go to Disney World, okay? When I come home, I take off my clothes, put them in the wash, and take a shower before I go near my wife. Just because I don't want to bring something home to her. And I'm very, got to be cautious because a common cold could kill her, give her, And now we got the measles back. I mean, is VD going to come back too? I mean, that's one I probably don't have to worry about, hopefully. But, these are things that, mumps, I don't even know what mumps are, and they're saying mumps are back.
Unbelievable.
Oh, yeah, that's Joe Biden. That's Biden-Harris, 2024. That's it.
I just don't even know what to say.
These are sick people. They're, listen, some other New York City cops just got their butts whooped by illegals, all right, in New York again. They're beating up our cops. They're bringing diseases, this measles story that's all, this measles story I didn't bring up. This is everywhere. This is a national story. It just happens to be based here in South Florida. The fentanyl crisis. I mean, these things they're bringing us. This is what Biden is doing by design.
Nothing's being done to stop it either.
No, it's Trump's fault. Didn't you hear Mayorkas? It's Trump's fault. All right. It's sick. It's sick. All right, take care. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe, guys.
When it comes to dental work, there's no one better than Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. But don't just take my word for it. This is Richie the bus driver. He called in on the air to share his experience with Dr. Gupta. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Richie. Dr. Gupta. I go 139 miles to this guy. I had a broken tooth. It was supposed to be kept on. I lasted 2 years. He put dentures in my mouth that are a lot cheaper than anybody else. And he's excellent and no pain. I recommend this guy. He's the best ever. So I want to get that out of the way.
Listen to Richie the bus driver. Go see Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633.
Hey, it's Scott from Margarita. Make planning your next adventure in 2024 a breeze with Margaritaville at Sea's fan favorite buy one get one free sale. Whether you're looking for a quick weekend getaway to soak up the Caribbean sun or family fun on a longer vacation to Key West and Mexico, Margaritaville at Sea has got you covered with cruises for two starting at just $99. Use your savings to splurge on exclusive Grand Terrace suites aboard the all-new Islander and save up to $1,500. Unlock the ultimate license to chill and book your ticket to paradise today at margaritavillasea.com.
Are you living your best life? Are you feeling the way you know you should be? This is John, CFO at Lighthouse Medical Center. Our hormone optimization therapy programs have helped so many people get the way they did in their 20s. They're full of energy after a long day, reduced their risk of heart disease, sexual vigor and excitement, great, sleeping the way they should without disturbances, and reducing their symptoms of aging. Our all-natural hormone optimization therapy is precise, easy, and effective from day one. Office visits are usually less than 5 times per year, and the cost is only $150 per month for most patients. Let our medical team get you optimized and living your best life. Our family medical practice has been serving South Florida for over 71 years. Let us show you what personalized medical care and being treated like family feels like. Call us at 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. Or visit us at lighthousemedicalcenter.com to schedule your consultation today.
All right, here we go.
Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM. Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM. Hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM. Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM. And anywhere in the world at True Oldies.
All right, I'm looking out of the window. It is a beautiful Florida day, not a cloud in the sky, and the sunshine is out. We're getting our sunshine state back, and you know what that means? Activity. I'm going to be very busy this weekend. I know you guys. I know the weekend. It's far away. It's only Tuesday, but I haven't seen the sun for more than 3 minutes in weeks. Right, with this terrible weather we've been having. And if you're in pain, being active on the weekends, well, it's not as easy, is it? No, it's like any other day of the week. You're just laying in bed or sitting on the couch, watching TV, doing that Netflix and chill thing. Listen, don't be like I used to be, okay? I thought that pain was just a part of growing older. right? I mean, I just thought that way. Oh, you're getting older, you aches and pains. That is not true. It is not a part of growing older. Okay? Go talk to Dr. Appleton about his laser wave pain treatment. It works, people. You know that laser wave pain treatment, it repairs the damage that is causing the pain. Pain is a signal from your body that something's broken, something's wrong. The laser wave pain treatment repairs that damage. And at last, he rid me of pain in my knee about 2 years ago. It hasn't returned after just 2 treatments. In fact, all 5 times he's rid me of pain, not only did he rid me of pain, Dr. Appleton, with his laser wave pain treatment, the pain has not returned. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's absolutely amazing. And, you know, the laser wave pain treatment, there's no downtime, no drugs. That's right. No surgery. And it's 100% painless. With Dr. Appleton, walk-ins are welcome even on Saturdays. Appointments never necessary. Give him a call, 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonChiro.com. Give him a call and say bye-bye to your pain. If you're on hold, stand by. How many of you have parents that are from the old country, from the immigrants, or grandparents or great-grandparents? Most of us have a story, somebody, came through. Most of us crackers have somebody that came through Ellis Island at some point, right? I can say that because I'm white. See, I can say the C word. If you're not white, you can't say cracker. Okay, unless you're talking about the saltines, just so you know. For the rest of you, it's the C word. But if you're whitey like me, you can say cracker. And there have been mass waves of immigration into this country from different parts of the world. Since this country was founded 247 years ago, now don't tell me it's 248, it's not July yet, it'll be 248 in July. In this country's 247-year history, what year had the largest population growth? Was it during the turn of the 19th to the 20th century through the Ellis Island? Was it the baby boom, when all the soldiers and sailors came back and had massive amounts of sex and impregnated their wives? No. I'm not going to troll for calls on this. I'm just going to tell you. The United States is 247 years old, been in existence since 1776. The year with the largest population growth was last year. Last year. 2023. That's right. Why? Same reason the measles are back in Weston. Illegals. That's how. That's why. Illegals. A bigger boom than the baby boom. A bigger increase than the height of the mass waves of immigration during the Ellis Island period. Think about that. Think that's an accident? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yeah, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yes. Yes, Siobhan. Yes, Siobhan.
I was just going to give you some information on the measles, mumps, and chickenpox.
Yeah, they're back. They're back in Weston.
The measles, there were 2 different kinds.
By the way, I'm going to tell you, before you get into the history of the measles, I'm going to tell you guys this, okay? I'm going to tell you guys this out in Weston. I'm not going to go to the Broward Mall, and for that matter, I was going to go to the Sawgrass Mills over the weekend. I'm not going to go to the Sawgrass Mills over the weekend. Sawgrass Mills Mall. Why? Those are the 2 malls closest to Weston. Okay? And I'm not going to go and sit down in a food court at the mall that's closest to where the measles outbreak is. Now, that's just me. You guys can do what you want. I'm not organizing anything. I'm just telling you that I'm staying the heck away from the Weston area.
I live in San Diego. I'm not anywhere near there, but I listen to your program all the time.
It's amazing. I don't hear that Mexican accent. San Diego, right on the boat. Anyway, tell me about the measles.
There were 2 different kinds. One was called the German measles, and then the other one, I think they just called it the red measles. One was more severe than the other. I do not remember which was which, but I do remember that we all got them when we were probably, I'm trying to think, well, before we started school. So,
well, listen, here's the thing about the measles. I know there's different types of measles. I don't, as Americans, we don't need to know about the different types of measles. We eradicated the measles from America, and now they're back, baby. They're back.
Right. Well, and the chicken pox, those we had, those we had as infants, and that was pretty much,
Chicken pox are almost gone. I had the chicken pox, and I remember it because I had it when I was 5, and it was Halloween, and I couldn't go trick-or-treating or anything. But like my daughter and her friends, none of them had the chicken pox. The chicken pox pretty much gone too, like the measles and the mumps, and these things are back because of the illegals and their families.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree with you, and we're getting hit really heavy now over here.
And it really ticks me off that I am not the only one who realizes this. And I mean, the story, I'm a little more into the story because it's a national story, but it's taking place right here in South Florida. And I got to tell you, Weston, Steve Kane, lives in Cooper City. All right? That borders Weston. So, and Steve has grandkids that are in the schools over in that area. And Steve, I don't know, when did they start vaccinating people for the measles? Or our elderly population, are they vaccinated for measles like I am? I don't know. Are they?
Yeah.
When did they start doing it?
I got the first vaccination in kindergarten.
What year was that?
That would have been 19. Let's see, I went to kindergarten as I was.
Add 5 to your birth year.
5 or 6, yeah.
So what year?
It would have been probably 57.
Oh my God, Steve had graduated college by then. So I don't know. So I don't know. But the reason I bring this up, this is a national...
1957.
57. Okay. So you were I was vaccinated in the 70s. But are our vaccination the new measles that the illegals are spreading here in town where I live, are those the same measles or are they mutated? Are our vaccinations going to protect us from these measles? I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Right, I'm not either. And if they're mutated, who knows? But if it wasn't, if it's the same, it should, because it's supposed to,
Well, I don't know, because we eradicated America of measles, so I don't know. But I know they're back. And it pisses me off when I hear, and it's not just our news. This is all the news. I've been reading during the breaks the local news stories on this. None of them say undocumented. They say unvaccinated, all because of the unvaccinated. They don't say undocumented. Not in one story I have found yet. I'm sure somebody somewhere, maybe. And I'm looking at our local media because local news is about informing the public, right? Informing the public. And I'm looking in our local news here, which is the news that's reporting in the community hit by this measles outbreak, and I haven't heard one of them say undocumented, illegal. It's unvaccinated, not undocumented.
Right.
What else do the undocumented bring?
Yeah, well, that's exactly like you say, mumps. And mumps is a serious thing, especially for
Is it?
Boys and men. Boys, they can make you sterile.
Oh my goodness. Well, listen. These are things. Let me tell you, and I'm serious as a heart attack about this. The only time mumps are back too, not as bad as measles, but the only time. I don't know, when I was growing up, I didn't know anyone with measles. Some of my friends like me had the chickenpox, no measles. But the only time I heard about the mumps and measles was watching The Little Rascals, right? Because they would get it all the time. Because they didn't have vaccinations back in the 30s and 40s when they was spanking alfalfa and buckwheat and all that stuff. But they're back. And the news, and what I got to wonder, and I'll ask Steve about this, maybe he'll have a thought on this. Our news here, they keep saying there's a measles outbreak because of the unvaccinated. They don't even say students, by the way, you notice. Do they know it's because of the undocumented illegals and they're leaving that out? Or are they just blind to it?
No.
They know.
Yeah, they have to know. Because
So they're endangering the public.
a number of years ago, when they slowed down the amount of people they were letting in because they weren't getting enough information from them, documented that they had gotten vaccines and all the rest of it, and so they didn't even want them. They put them in quarantine.
Oh, quarantine. Yeah, quarantine. Listen, I got to run for the break. San Diego, thanks for the call. All right, take care. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're going to really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show.
Happy that I don't have the measles or mumps or whatever.
Oh my gosh.
The runny nose, the whatever, this and that. I was like, oh no, that sounds familiar. But the rash was the one thing. I was like, I
Yep.
didn't have that, so. Plus, I never really go down there, and that happened just a few days ago, yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I don't think that was me.
Oh my goodness.
I'm in studio right now with Dr. Appleton. Dr. Appleton, how'd you do it?
I treated the knee pain with laser. Treated is simple and no side effects. I have robotic lasers that have a wonderful effect on joint pain. These are all FDA approved.
Now, you don't just help with knees. Tell the listeners what other areas you can help with.
Any joint I can do. Shoulder pain, hip pain, sciatica, stenosis, arthritis, tendonitis, bursitis, from the foot all the way up through the neck.
Dr. Appleton is a chiropractic physician, and with the laser awakening system, there's no injections, no surgery, and no drugs. He's open 6 days a week, and same-day appointments are available. Call right now for your free consultation. 954-973-0710.
Right back, guys.
973-0710. Make sure to tell Dr. Appleton.
Deal with your pharmacist to make sure that you have your prescriptions. They'll help you find a doctor, including a specialist. If you've been billed improperly by a doctor's office or a hospital, they can help you with that too. They'll even be your advocate when you're in the hospital to make sure you get the care you need and the care you deserve. And that's just the beginning of what they do. I Will Advocates takes care of all
If you're on hold, hang in there.
issues too, and they can do the same for you. I Will Advocate clients are family, and they go to bat for their family when you need them the most. Call Debbie at I Will Advocates right now. Toll free 1-877-267-2666. 1-877-275-2326. 1-877-275-2326. 1-877-275-2326. Temple Beth Shira presents.
All right. Callers on hold, stand by. Very busy phones today. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve joining us. Hey, Steve. Oh, my goodness. Not good. Today's show, it's one of those things, you go on the air, something happens, and then something takes over. And today's show has really become a public service program since the media are dropping the ball as opposed to discussing the news. We're trying to inform the community. Well, I don't know. Have you missed the show up until this point? Oh, my goodness. Oh, goodness. So the last 90 minutes? Oh, no. What I'll do is I'll do a recap. So if you're on hold, stand by. And this is an important recap. And I don't do this lightly because I didn't even know about this subject until, 60 seconds before I went live this morning. Okay? And our top of the hour news which is national news. Our top of the hour news is ABC News. It's national news, and they reported on a story that's a national story, but involves your neighborhood, Steve, right next door to Cooper City in Weston. It's a story in Weston, and they left out the important part of the story. Okay, this is a national news story that is being reported in the national news, not just our local news. There has been a measles outbreak at an elementary school in Weston. And measles are pretty serious. They've had 5 students at one elementary school in Weston test positive for the measles. And the story that is being presented, there's been a measles, and this isn't just our news, this is all the news, including our local news, because I've been going through the local news, in particular in Broward County, local news this morning throughout the show, during the breaks, to see if they are going to decide to report the news or cover up the news. The story goes like this. There has been a measles outbreak at an elementary school near Fort Lauderdale in Weston, Florida, due to some at the school, they don't even say students, being unvaccinated. Well, that's not even half the story. I'm telling you, the reason that there's a measles outbreak, and by the way, there's a measles outbreak nationwide. 15 states now have measles. Okay, something we rid our society of. And Philadelphia in particular, but 15 states now have measles popped up all of a sudden. The biggest cases are here in Weston. It's because of the illegals. And that's the story. The illegals are not vaccinated for anything. And when you jump the border, they just can't vaccinate you for everything. Okay? Vaccinations take years to work. That's why you start as when you have a baby, and they have all kinds of vaccinations for the first 5 years of life, and then they start kindergarten at age 5 or 6. Okay? So the measles outbreak that's being covered up by the media is because of Joe Biden's illegals. And that's why there's a nationwide breakout. But the media aren't telling you about the illegals. The last time there was a measles outbreak like this in the news, Obama was president who was bringing illegals here. That time it was up in the Massachusetts area. And I'm a little, you got grandkids that are in the schools in that area, Steve. And, I don't know, because of I'm not a doctor. I don't know anything about measles. But I haven't had to worry about measles because we eradicated them from the United States. And now they're back, thanks to Biden. But I don't know. I was vaccinated in the 70s. A nice lady called in who was vaccinated in the late 50s. But you're older, so I don't know if you've been vaccinated. I don't know if people your age have been vaccinated. Maybe you have. I don't know. I don't know if these measles are a new strain. Will my vaccination protect me? I don't know. But I do know this. The media are in the business of covering up the news, not reporting it. And I'm not trying to hate on illegals, but that's why they're back. And also, I was talking. Yeah, I know. Callers on hold, stand by. I want to take your calls on this, and you need to be careful, Steve. Measles. Apparently, I don't know anything about measles. I know Alfalfa got them once, and Spanky on the Little Rascals. That's all I know. But I'm reading up on them now. Apparently, they're coughing and such spreads them, which means anybody can get them. And it's frightening. And what's frightening to me about it is not just that the measles are back, is that the media aren't reporting what I'm reporting here. Now listen, I haven't gone to the school and done an investigation. All I have is some common sense. We rid ourselves of measles. And this little piece of the puzzle that I shared right before the bottom of the hour break, in America's 247-year history, the year with the largest population growth since 1776, the year of the largest population growth in the United States was last year, 2023. And it's not because there was a baby boom of our kids having sex. Half are gay, a quarter are trans. They don't even have that kind of sex. It's the illegals. The population increase is because of the illegals. So we have had a larger population increase in 2023 because of the illegals. By the way, these are government statistics, not mine. I tweeted this story. It was in the Gateway Pundit. We had a larger population increase than after the baby boom, after the Second World War, and during those mass waves of immigration in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, 2023. So we got problems here. Oh, yeah, let me tell you, there's another thing, too. I haven't mentioned this to you guys today. Oh, no, this is just another thing to be depressed about. I talked about this on my podcast last night, but since October, 20,000 Chinese nationals, military age, have been apprehended at the southern border. 20,000. That sounds like an army to me. I don't know why. Why are they here? Oh, really? Well, if it's Southern Cal, they're coming across in Texas. So I'm sure, but some of them probably get sent to California. They got to check in with their handlers there. But we have 20,000 Chinese have come across Eagle Pass and all of that since October. But last year, the largest population increase in America's 240, it's not 248 yet. Again, it's not July. In July, it'll be, 248. But in our country's 247-year history, the largest population increase was last year. That's saying a lot because, we've all seen the images of Ellis Island, right? And New York used to be so overpopulated with immigrants from all over the world. That's nothing compared to what's going on now. Those numbers were much smaller. Where this is insanity, what's going on here. And let's take some calls. I want to tell you this, though. I want to be wrong about this. Why else are the measles back in Weston? You know, you live in Cooper City. You border Weston. So until they get how can they get control of the situation if they won't even discuss why it's happening, right? How can the health department get control of a measles outbreak if they're running the health department on this politically correct thing that they can't say it's the illegals and their children, because the parents and the kids, none of them are vaccinated, right? And you can't just take them to the hospital and vaccinate them. It takes time for these things to work. If you're on hold, stand by. We're up against the break. We'll take our break and be right back.
Share his experience with Dr. Gupta. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Richie. Dr. Gupta. I go 139 miles to this guy. I had a broken tooth. He fixed it. Plus we kept worried. It lasted 2 years. He put dentures in my mouth that are a lot cheaper than anybody else. And he's excellent and no pain. I recommend this guy. To me, he's the best ever. So I'm going to get that out of the way.
Listen to Richie the bus driver. Go see Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633.
Soda Real Love from DC. Welcome to the chat. Soda Real Love. Welcome.
And be sure to enjoy a glass of wine from Cafe Chardonnay's legendary wine cellar.
Tom Laporta here from Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Building Restoration. I am pleased to say our relationship with the Steve Kane Show and the show's listeners keeps getting stronger and stronger. The Steve Kane Show listeners are truly the best customers we have ever had. They are courteous, intelligent, honest, and quite a joy to work with. We have completed thousands of projects for the listeners, from repairs, single-family homes, large HOA complexes, and churches, with great success, and every one of those customers are like family. We have installed all kinds of roofs, from asphalt shingles, clay, and concrete tile, standing metal seam, slate tile, and flat roof systems. So come on, and let our family take care of your family. Call me on my cell at 954-604-4602, or find us on the web at laportacontracting.com. The number again is 954-604-4602.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve.
All right, 2 openings on the board at 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631. Stand by, guys. You know, you have a birthday coming up, Steve. Okay, I know what you want for your birthday. No, I know what you want for your birthday, and you can tell your wife and family to get you this, okay? The MyPillow mattress topper. for your bed. Let me tell you, I've been sleeping on the MyPillow mattress topper for years now, and the first night I got it, it came Saturday. Came on a Saturday. Remember, I came home from the gun show, and it was there on the front porch, and we put it on the bed and slept on it that night. And for the first time in years, I woke up Sunday morning after the sun came out, because I get up so early during the week. On the weekends, I wake up early too. I woke up when the sun was out. I slept through, and my alarm started waking me up in the morning because I was sleeping in. It turns your entire bed into just a paradise. I mean, it's just a big MyPillow. It will change your life. You will sleep like you've never. If you think you've gotten a good night's sleep before, you're wrong. You haven't until you sleep on the MyPillow mattress topper. 50% off with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, and free shipping. Free shipping on all items at MyPillow.com, not just the mattress topper. Free shipping on all items at MyPillow.com, no matter how big or small, no matter how light, no matter how heavy. Free shipping on all items site-wide. But that MyPillow mattress topper, Steve, comes in every mattress size. You got a California King, right? It comes in California King. And it will change your life. At MyPillow.com, promo code Kane at checkout, 50% off and free shipping. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, Kane. All right, to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yes.
Hi, this is Joan in Tampa Bay.
Hey, Joan.
You could not get vaccinated for the measles in the 50s. It didn't come out until, it wasn't developed until 1963.
So what happens to people, like I got vaccinated in the 70s, what happens to people like Steve who were young before that? Are they vaccinated later? What's going on?
Well, did he ever have it?
Well, I don't know. Did most people get vaccinated?
Well, I was born in 1956.
So you did?
No, I didn't get vaccinated.
Never?
It's one of those childhood diseases that once you get it, you're not going to...
Yeah. Well, this is what I know, okay? Based on what you're telling me, okay, in Florida, because we have the oldest population in the country, we probably have a lot of our elderly population that are not vaccinated because the vaccination came after their childhood. Okay, that's one problem, and they're back.
There's not a problem really, because mostly everybody got that before the vaccine.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I mean, oh my gosh. I know I had, oh my gosh, and I don't want everybody to call in with their measles stories. Okay, she's not worried. She had the measles. By the way, she's not in school. They've had 5 kids in a school in Weston get the measles. They've had an outbreak in 15 states. There's been an outbreak in Philadelphia. So don't tell me that it's not a problem when 5 people have already been reported with it in an elementary school. And they're not telling us who. They're not telling us if it was students, teachers, support staff, okay? And it is a problem. And it's a problem because it is spreading. And they're also saying, Steve, the mumps are coming back. Okay, that's another thing. I don't even know what that is, but it's back. I've heard of it. And there, there's one concern. Remember, yeah, and most of them are before my time because we rid America of them, okay? And with all due respect to Joan, who had the measles back in 1950, whatever, so she's not worried. Okay, well, I'm glad you're okay. But there's an outbreak in Weston, okay? People with their measles stories. It's like people with their 9/11 stories. We're not talking about your measles stories. What we're talking about is that last year we had the largest growth in the population of this country in our nation's 247-year history. And illnesses or measles, is it a disease? Is it an illness? I'm not a...
Years of memory,
Well, those are the dots you get. Those are the dots you get, or the rash. A rash is one of the symptoms of the measles. Okay, there's other problems with it. You get more than the dots all over you, right? But
imagining the itch.
But this is the situation. Okay, we rid our nation of the measles. and they're back in 15 states, 5 cases in our community, right next door to where you live, Weston. It's in the national news, okay? And no one in the news is talking about why is this illness, the measles, that we rid America of, why is it back? And just doing a little deduction, illegals. They're not vaccinated for anything. That's the only thing I can think of. And that's the way it is. But Joan in Tampa, she had it in the 50s, Steve, so she's safe. The rest of you, you're on your own. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Lewis and Broward.
Hey, Lewis.
Hey, Brian. So it's a couple of interesting things. Number one is I just left Weston after 10 years because my kids finally got through the school district. And, you know, we came to South Florida from up north to get away from the sanctuary state of things. And, you know, an underlying shame to all of this is that Weston is supposed to be this very affluent community with an extremely high median income. And a lot of people escape to South Florida to give their kids better opportunities, better educational opportunities in that public school district. And now to have to run in and be faced with this, it's a real shame. And it's speaking volumes to the problem that this country really has. And it's only going to spread and get worse if something's not done sooner than later.
Well, look, you know, with this, with the illegals, look, there's another story today. More cops beaten up by illegals in New York. More New York's finest beaten up again, right? You know, we got the fentanyl cry. You know, come on, what's going on here?
You have 1,200 NYPD injured in the first 6 weeks of this calendar year. And you know, and that was a stat in the story I read. I love the Post. And a great one in the Post last week is what Abbott's trying to do in Texas. You know, with the 10th Amendment, the Article 1, Clause 3. You know, Texas has a right to secure itself if the federal government is not going to secure it against.
Well, Greg Abbott's talking about building a military base along the southern border.
Militia. The Constitution gives the states and affords them the right to build their own militia if the federal government is not.
Well, that's yeah. Well, you know, listen, this country is being attacked now by, I don't know, is this like biological? The measles, is that considered like biological? We got the fentanyl, we got the crime. Our cops are getting beaten up. Now we got the measles.
Only President Trump can come in and clean this all up the way it was.
Where's our governor? Where's our Governor DeSantis? Can he get back to, has he done crying on his wife's shoulders for destroying his political career? Come to Broward, Governor, and take care of this measles outbreak.
Agreed. Thanks for taking my call.
Well, thank you. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Is that me?
Yes, it's you.
Hi, it's Irene.
Hey, Irene.
How are you guys?
Hi. On the subject of the measles, okay, I'm Steve's age, so here we go. The measles are definitely serious for this reason. They can cause blindness.
Oh, that's great.
Well, that one of the precautions that they take when you get the measles, when you're diagnosed with the measles, is you have to stay in a dark room. You can't have your...
Oh, really? Wow.
You can't close your eyes to the light.
Is it deadly? Is it deadly?
No, I don't believe it's deadly. Well, if you take care of yourself, you know, obviously, if you let it go, I don't know what it can lead to. But I had the measles, and this is 50. I was born in 40, so I was about 10. I said and I was in Barnard when you were in the...
Well, here's the thing. Well, listen, we're almost out of time for this hour, but I want to tell you this. I've heard from 3 callers that had the measles, right? You and another lady had the measles in the 50s, and a gentleman called in who had the measles when President Kennedy was president. That's how long it's been. I haven't heard from anyone my age or younger that's had the measles. That means that tells you how long ago we rid America of it, and now it's back.
But that doesn't mean that the vaccination that they administered to everybody when it came out is still protecting them today.
I don't know exactly. We don't know. We don't know.
Nicaragua or wherever the hell they're coming from.
China,
China,
Africa.
What else are they planning?
I don't know. I don't know. Listen, we need Trump. We need Trump. All right. We're coming up on the top of the hour break. Crawlers on hold. Stand by. I'm Brian. Steve Kane's here. We'll be right back after this.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 Indiantown. Programming paid
Okay. That's it.
Meanwhile, 9 cases have been reported in the Philadelphia area since December, all involving unvaccinated people. So far this year, at least 1 case has been reported in 12 states. Measles spreads in the air when an infected person coughs or sneezes. Symptoms include fever, cough, runny nose, and a distinctive rash. But severe cases can lead to brain swelling, pneumonia, or even death.
Oh my goodness. Brain swelling, pneumonia, and death.
I need new wipers. No problem. How about Bosch Prime Active or Envision? I know what you're thinking. Why Bosch Prime Active or Envision? They're both designed to minimize glare for clearer, safer driving. Okay, great. Do you have any special offers on it? Right now, you can get a $10 bonus reward when you buy a pair. Restrictions apply. Offer available to AutoZone Reward.
Join us for Moments of Scripture, hosted by Jan Copeland every Sunday morning from 6 to 6:30 a.m. We will read the Bible, pray, and offer blessings to all who listen in the name of our Lord and Savior. Moments of Scripture, every Sunday at 6 a.m.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Craig.
All right. Very busy phones today. One opening on the board at 1-888. Two openings at 1-465-2631. I'm Brian Craig, Steve Kane. Are you back with us, Steve? Okay, now before we go to the phones, oh, by the way, I heard our news at the top of the hour an update on the measles story here in Weston. Symptoms include brain swelling, Steve. Oh, isn't that lovely? Yeah. Just on another note, I just want to throw this out, free comment on this. The South Carolina primary is Saturday. I'm so glad it's on Saturday. So, I've got a very busy day on Saturday. I'm taking my 17-year-old dog to the vet. May have to put her down in the morning. Yeah, I know. But then I'll be watching everything going on in South Carolina, and we should have results Saturday night early. Nikki Haley has announced that she is having a press conference today at noon, and it is to address the state of the race, which I've never heard such a press conference before by a candidate, and we don't know what it's about. People are saying, could she drop out? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't like her, and her man hands. Sex with men other than her husband in parking lots when her husband's deployed, and she's great. Yeah, she'll be on OnlyFans when the campaign's over. But is there a chance you think she'll drop out today at noon before the primary? No, she doesn't. She looks insane. But she was twice elected governor of South Carolina. President Trump is at least 30 points ahead in South Carolina. Is she going to drop out today at noon? I have no guesses on that. But if you have any thoughts or have heard anything, well, I don't like any of these. I feel about her the same way I feel about DeSantis. I mean, these guys are snakes. Yeah. Yeah, no, she's, yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, the chances of her dropping out are 50-50. We have no information. Although she did get a complete makeover. She got a new wardrobe and did new makeup over the weekend for the Fox town hall. Yeah, I mean, the makeup doesn't hide her man hands, though, I'll tell you that. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. You're on the air. Yes, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm from Palm Beach, and my name is Alexa.
Okay.
There's a lot of people that don't vaccinate their kids as it is. So I feel like saying it's illegal. It's kind of like just misinformation.
Really? Where's your accent from? Where's your accent from?
There's a lot of families that believe in no vaccination.
Where's your accent from?
It is. So I don't know why illegal.
Does this work? Where is your accent from?
I don't know why that has anything to do. I'm just trying to explain to you that not everybody vaccinates their kids as it is. That is. Listen, I'm not going to give too hard of a time to a mom with a baby in the background, but. No. Where's your accent from? I don't know why that has anything to do with it.
It has everything to do with it. Be proud of your country.
You too, because I was thinking, I was like, why does he keep saying illegal? Why does he keep saying Trump? Like,
yeah.
You know that he's going bankruptcy. He can't do anything in New York.
Who's going bankrupt?
Trump. He has to pay.
He's not gonna pay. He's not gonna pay 10 cents. He's not gonna pay 10 cents. He's not gonna pay 10 cents.
And he can't do any legal work.
That's not true. No, that's not true. He's appealing that. He's appealing that. The reason I asked, listen. Where's your accent from? Why do you want to tell us your country?
I don't see why my country is the United States.
No, California. This is not a California accent. Come on, this is not a California accent.
It doesn't sound like it, but it is.
Where is this accent from? Where are your parents from?
Extremely strong accent.
Yeah, I know that California accent. Oh my goodness.
Now I don't know what he has to.
What is the nation? Okay, listen, slow down. What is the nation of origin for your family?
Now, like I said, the people in this
Wow.
country don't believe in vaccination, and are you saying that only illegals? Now, as you know, HIPAA
Yeah.
say if they're legal or
All right. Yeah. I know, and that's a problem. But you can tell. No, you can tell.
discrimination like you.
Discrimination?
Yes, you are. You're discriminating because you don't even have the facts.
I have the facts.
You don't have the facts.
I have the facts.
Those people that have that measles, all of them are illegal.
No. I agree with you. Okay. Slow down for a moment. Okay? No. I'm going to...
You just keep putting fire to...
No. Let me tell you. Oh, my goodness. Can you stop talking for a minute so I can interject? I want to have a conversation with you, okay? I don't know how with this California accent and all you got. Okay. I will agree. Oh, my, you got it. You've got to stop talking to hear my points. Okay? What you said at the end, I will agree with. We don't know if everyone with the measles is an illegal, okay? But I promise you that the root cause of the outbreak is an illegal. Listen, it's America. I can say whatever the hell I want. Just like a...
You're saying things that are not facts.
No, these are... Yeah.
You even accept that you don't have anything to do with the medical field. And here you are talking about...
Listen, the reason I asked about... I've got no problem with immigrants, okay? Our great First Lady Melania has an accent, kind of like a California accent like yours, but it's a Slovakian accent. We like immigrants, but we like legal immigrants, okay? The reason I asked about your accent is because of your foreign connections and your background. Maybe you were born in California, but you've got a very heavy accent. You live in a Spanish speaking world, okay? And maybe you are born and raised in California. Maybe you're not, but you live in a Spanish world, and you're in a world that is not Americanized, and you relate to the undocumented illegal immigrants, okay? And you're sympathetic to the illegal immigrants that are taking over our country. Absolutely.
People are judging people without not having facts and without knowing. You don't have the facts.
We have millions and millions of illegals coming to our country every year now under Joe Biden, right? Okay? They are not vaccinated. They're bringing with them the measles. They're bringing with them crime. They're bringing with them fentanyl and all kinds of other things.
What about the mothers that are standing against the vaccination?
When you don't confuse this with COVID. There are some people that have a lot of, like Jenny McCarthy. Okay, Jenny McCarthy, who's well-known celebrity. And she doesn't get her kids vaccinated. She's got this thing about ADHD or something. There are a handful of lunatics that don't get their kids vaccinated, like you're talking about ADHD. But what I'm telling you is that, hold on a second. They are a small minority of people in this country. However, the majority of illegals are not vaccinated for any of these things.
You don't have those facts.
No, so what happens is, this is what happens, okay? You've got some lunatic liberal parents in Weston. Maybe one of them doesn't have their kid vaccinated. The illegals come in with their measles, and the unvaccinated kid gets it. I'm sorry, I couldn't understand that last part. Your Californian accent is a little too heavy. Are you still going to stick with that story, by the way, that this is a Californian accent? Yeah, that's what I... Listen, we got to take a break. Adios. That's right. That's how they talk in California. You used to live in California, Steve. Is that how the California girls talk? Gidget didn't talk like that. No, exactly. Yeah, now, maybe the foreign-born ladies. Nothing wrong, you know. All right, we'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Oh, and I missed my cue, guys. That's my fault. I'm sorry. I must have the measles, Steve. It's time to check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Attorney Barry Siegel, good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
Doing great. What do you have for us this morning?
Well, just some very general things that people should do to have their living trust work. Yesterday, I had the same thing happen twice. So 2 different clients came in. They brought in their existing documents for us to review, as people typically do. And one I remember from yesterday, they brought in their 2007 trust documents and powers of attorney and wills and everything, and reviewing it, and these were documents that were never executed. They were never signed. So these are just documents that they prepared on LegalZoom or one of those online platforms, and they were never done. So it wasn't anything. There was no validity to it.
Wow.
They were never executed. So that's step number one, is they have to be signed and they have to be properly executed, witnessed and notarized. But then another important part of the process, and we get people coming in all the time who either come to our seminars or they're coming to our consultations, and they have existing documents that are fully executed, but they never transferred their assets into the trust. And that really defeats the purpose. If the assets aren't in the trust, then they're not going to avoid probate, and you're not going to get the value of what you were looking to do. I mean, if you have a pour-over will, your assets will still eventually at death go into the trust, but you lost some of the key value of avoiding probate. So it's very important not only to fund your trust, but to make sure that you continue to fund your trust even after you initially create the trust and initially fund it, because you may acquire new assets during your lifetime. Your real estate need financial accounts, and that's why at the Siegel Law Group we do those 3-year reviews, and part of that is a little reminder, a little tap and say, hey, you have anything that you haven't funded in the trust, and we'll make sure that you do.
You know, that's amazing to me. I guess I'm spoiled because we deal with the Siegel Law Group, Attorney Barry Siegel, but I don't understand how that happens because I see the way you are with your clients, right? You walk through everything with your clients to make sure everything is properly documented and the trust is properly funded. And then you do this free review every 3 years with clients to make sure that if there's been any changes in their life. How do these people have these worthless trusts? How did that happen?
I don't want to say anybody that they're worthless trust, but first of all, you know, when they're doing it themselves, they may not know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing is, unfortunately, and I'm not saying all attorneys, but some attorneys don't have, don't keep in touch with the clients and don't have a relationship. It's a one-time transaction, and so there's no.
I see.
No,
yeah.
The plan's going to work when they need it to work, and that's our goal with the Siegel Law Group.
There you go. Okay, so listen, it's a no-charge consultation with the Siegel Law Group. If you mention you heard Attorney Barry Siegel on the program, and also remember that no matter where you're located in the state of Florida, the Siegel Law Group can help you. You can find them online at SiegelLawGroup.com. SiegelLawGroup.com, and you'll find that the SiegelLawGroup.com website is. You have an incredible website, Barry. I mean, I mean, it's just an amazing website. You got to go, Steve. You don't even use the internet. If you saw Attorney Barry Siegel's website, it would blow you away at that website. But you can also call 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, we'll talk later in the week. Back after this.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at True Oldie.
All right, we're back. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane is here. Our phones are ringing off the hook, Steve. I must have said something that inspired something. Well, the measles. The measles. It's not me. It's in the news. And I don't know the Beach Boys need to update the California girls after that last call. Let me see here. I'm going to try to take the calls in the order in which they were received. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Steve?
Yes.
Brian? Okay. This is me from New York State. I know that you were discussing people age 60 and under. Let me tell you, I'm 80, and I have been through every one of these diseases. Now, everybody listen. Back in the early 50s, everything was controlled. The government cared for their people. I ended up with the regular measles. I remember I had to stay in a bedroom for 2 weeks in the dark because they were worried about eyes because measles can bring on blindness and other eye problems. Okay. I got through that, and it's like I remember it like it was yesterday. Then the day came when I ended up with chicken pox. Okay? And I can remember that so well also. And then
hold on 1 second. As far as symptoms go,
Measles symptoms.
The difference between measles and chickenpox.
Yeah.
What was the difference? Tell me the difference.
With measles, and I can see that rash. With measles, my skin was sore and I was itchy. And I remember my mother would have to rub my skin down, but I had to be in the dark.
And what year was this around about again?
Brian, it was probably the Eisenhower year.
Okay, now slow down. So we've heard from 4 people in our audience that have had the measles. 3 of them, Eisenhower was president, and 1 of them, Kennedy was president. That's how long it's been. We haven't heard from anyone that's in their 50s, 40s, or 30s or below that has had measles. We wiped the measles out, and now they're back. Now, and let me tell you about the symptoms. Here's a problem, okay? Since measles, back in when you were a little girl, people knew about them. Today, it's an unfamiliar thing, and most people may not recognize the symptoms that their child may have the measles until they really got them. You understand what I mean? And expose other people because they don't know what the measles look like.
Yes, Brian, and that's why I'm calling. I was a tomboy. You know, I was very active, climbing trees and all that, okay? So I just told you about the measles, regular measles, not German measles. Okay, then we go into the chicken pox and the mumps. I'm going to say mumps first. Be very careful. At the time I had mumps, they warned you that boys could become, if they got mumps, they could become sterile and not ever be able to be a father.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
All right. Now, if this is the truth now, and this is all fact, okay, back when I was a little girl. All right, so you have to be careful of your boys when it comes to mumps. And if we've got an invasion of measles, I can guarantee you, mumps and chicken pox and all that are gonna come back.
What are the differences? But what are the differences between the four diseases you're talking about?
All right, with Steve, with mumps, it started in the throat. Your throat got swollen.
It was like swollen glands, right?
Exactly, and you had a sore throat. Mumps, it's, I can remember that, as I said, like it was yesterday. Now we go on to chicken pox.
Well, we don't need all the diseases and the symptoms, but I do appreciate the call, and thanks so much. Stand by. All right. I'll get her number, and you can call her after the show. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, this is Patricia. Brian, am I talking to you?
Yes.
Hello, Patricia.
Hello, good morning. I'm calling from New York State. I grew up in the Bronx. When I was 9 months old, I had the measles. I'm 71. I'm still here.
So what year would that have been? Around about?
Probably around 1953.
Oh, my goodness. Truman. Was Truman president, or was it Ike yet? My goodness.
I think it was Eisenhower. I'd like to be the voice of reason. I am a retired nurse practitioner.
Oh, yes.
A lot of what people are telling you that have had these diseases is true, but they are rare complications. It was very routine for children to have measles, mumps, chicken pox, German measles. The only thing I didn't have was the mumps. And everything else, I was always tested for a titer. And way into my 40s, I was immune to these illnesses. They were natural. Everybody had it. Parents sometimes would have chickenpox parties so that all the kids would have it at the same time.
That's insane. They combine that with the Tupperware parties back in the day, But here's hold on. Here's the thing, okay? And I appreciate the information, but I don't want to hear everyone's measles story. But here's the thing. Again, another caller. This is our fifth caller that's had measles. Everyone that's had measles, either Eisenhower or Kennedy was president. Okay, Eisenhower or Kennedy. That's how long ago it is. These are things that we. But hold on a second. These are things that we rid our society of. Growing up, I had the chicken pox. I don't know anyone that had the measles. And when my daughter was growing up, none of her friends had measles or chicken pox. So these things that we rid America of are now back, courtesy of this senile old coot, Joe Biden.
And that is likely. I am someone who is in favor of Trump. When he comes back, we can take a different course. Right now, what is in front of us is in front of us that we need to deal with. I am Catholic just like you. Remember, fear is not of God, it is of the devil. And when we are in fear, we cannot think logically.
No, hold on. I'm not in fear, and I'm not spreading fear. This is why I'm talking about this, okay? This story is a national story. Every outlet is carrying it. And every outlet is leaving off the part about the mass wave of illegals and that they are not vaccinated. And that's what we're talking about. Hey, listen, we got to run for a break. Thank you for the call. And if anybody had the measles who's under the age of 60, I'm curious because it's crazy. Eisenhower, Kennedy, president, every measles call today. But we'll keep our measles line is open if you had the measles. If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
It's not about being afraid or not of the measles. It's about what this president is doing. He's getting our cops' asses kicked, up there. They're bringing in the fentanyl. They're bringing in this. You understand what I mean? That's what this is about.
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, a true oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Major expressways this morning on the Palm Beaches are still accident-free and largely moving up to speed, but we do have some slowdowns on 95 and northbound from Deerfield Beach and
If you're on hold, hang in there.
We still have quite a few crashes on the surface streets, one on Military Trail at Cherry Road, North Lake Boulevard to Beeline Highway, Subway Boulevard at Congress Avenue. This is sponsored by eBay Motors. eBay Motors is here for the ride with the parts you need for the prices you want. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, it's guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only, exclusions apply. Let's drop this bar.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. The Moneymaker Tour is back in the poker room at PBKC February 15th through the 27th. Featuring over $1 million in guarantees, 20 trophy events, buy-ins for all types of players, and poker pro Chris Moneymaker. You can also play your favorite table games every day with games like Ultimate Texas Hold'em or 3-card poker with just $5 minimum tables. Go to pbkennelclub.com for more info.
If you're suffering from burning, tingling, or numb feet, you need to pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. Corey Hennessy, DC, and 8 Healthcare. Dr. Hennessy, what is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is actually nerve damage to the feet and legs.
And what are the symptoms?
The major symptoms of neuropathy are numbness, tingling, burning, muscle cramps, coldness in the hands and feet, and problems with balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It is treatable. We've seen some great results.
Call 954-633-7003 today to schedule your nerve damage screening. This screening will tell you if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for our treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe that there's nothing that can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, and even amputations. Call 954-633-7003. The first 25 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Space is limited. Call 954-633-7003.
Hey, my true oldies listeners, John Tesh here with some intelligence for your retirement this time. When you're looking for a retirement advisor, you don't trust and experience are two big qualities to look for. And as it turns out, my friend Jupiter Joe Thomas possesses both of these. Whether you're in retirement or looking to retire, I want you to give local expert Joe Thomas a call. Here's the number, 561-743-0999. Or, even simpler, you can go to jupiterjoe.com. Mention my name, John Tesh. You'll receive a free copy of Joe's book, Retirement Know-It-All. Great book. Call 561-743-0999. Or remember, go to jupiterjoe.com. That's jupiterjoe.com.
If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll be back shortly.
At the biostation West Del Rey and hormone replacement pellet therapy. Hormone replacement pellet therapy is all natural. What it does is restore your hormones to where they were when you were in your 20s. You'll feel younger, you'll have more energy, you'll get your sex drive back, and women, hormone replacement pellet therapy completely stops and reverses all the signs and symptoms of menopause. Mood swings gone, night sweats gone. I've met listeners before and after hormone replacement replacement pellet therapy with Dr. Matez? And when I first meet him, they're like Joe Biden, and no one wants to be like him. And then I meet him again after they began hormone replacement pellet therapy, and they have their energy back, just like Trump. They're standing up tall, and they feel years younger. Now, it's always a free consultation with Dr. Matez when you tell him you heard about him on the radio. 561-320-8893. 561-320-8893.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 47 years on the air.
All right, we're back. I'm Brian Craig, Steve Kane here. There's only one opening on the board at 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. This is just one of those days where there's a story in the news and it's a steamroller freight train here, and I understand. Can someone, let me throw in a question that, to add on to this discussion, Steve. Can anyone think of something that Joe Biden has done that's helped this country? Yeah, I mean, it's insane. And by the way, helping this country doesn't mean setting his junkie kids up so they have enough money for drugs and hookers for life, okay? I'm talking about, like, for the country. One positive thing Joe Biden has done to help the American people. That should be a home run for a liberal. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yes, Boynton.
Hey, what I was going to say about the woman that just called that wouldn't tell you anything about herself.
Oh, the California girl?
Yeah, the accidented one. She is definitely just one out of a million that is what is wrong with this country today. And that you can't even say where you're from. I mean, is she a criminal or whatever?
She's not from California. It took her. I'd ask her 12 times before she. I'm California. Yeah, give me a break.
But I mean, she just, and she was breathless. Like she really held in what she was trying to say and get it out there before you hung up on her, and everything. But I just wanted to mention that, that is part right there.
Well, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Be more specific.
Well, just in general, when you have one person like that, there's more behind her. And
well, okay, let me say what I think you're saying because we agree. Listen, we all are descendant of immigrants at some point, right? But the difference between us and our grandparents or great-grandparents and her family is our family became Americanized. She's not. And I talk about this. My part of my family's from Greece. Great-grandfather came here around 1900. And my grandmother and her siblings didn't speak Greek. The family even owned a Greek restaurant. And I remember asking my grandma, "Why don't you speak Greek, Grandma?" And she says, "Because my dad wanted us to be Americans, not Greeks."
unbelievable.
And that
What my grandfather wanted.
Yeah.
Learn Italian.
Exactly.
Full American.
And what's happening now is, with all due respect to the nice lady, this show's unlike any other thing ever on the radio. So you come across this program for the first time, it's shocking. I get it, okay? And she's got a kid saying "Mama" in the background. What am I, so I'm not going to give her too hard time. But she's not Americanized. Her family are not Americanized, okay? And that's a problem because we're losing our culture because to Americanize is to be ethnocentric, racist, or whatever labels they put on it these days. And that's why we're losing our country. And the fact that we had the largest population growth in this country's history, 250 some odd years, and this is last year, because of the border situation. It's certainly not reproduction. All these kids are gay and trans. They don't have reproductive sex like they used to, and that's a problem. And this country is the gold standard of Western civilization. You lose American culture, you lose the Western civilization.
Yes, exactly. But on another note, I just wanted to say I'm very sorry about your dog and and everything.
I know it's awful.
Yes, we have a 17-year-old too, and he just walks around blind and deaf. We just kind of waiting. But on the other hand, you have to do what you have to do.
I appreciate it. All right, take care. Yes. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jersey Mike from West Palm.
Yes.
Really enjoy your show. I want to compliment you on your knowledge and your
Pleased to serve you.
Well, let me say this. Before I served in Vietnam, which was the Navy, I was an merchant marine, and I went around the world a couple of times. And before you can go out to the Far East, which is China and the Far East, you have to get certain vaccinations because these are the things that can be brought into the country via our border crossing. Such things as typhoid, plague, polio. By the way, I had polio. No, a friend of mine had polio when I was a very young boy.
Well, but here's the thing. You're right, and it used to be, if you travel to certain countries today, you have to get this shot or that shot. But here's the thing. A lot of these vaccinations, like for the measles, it's not one shot and you're done. It's a number of shots, including boosters, over a number of years, most of which in America are done before a child enters kindergarten. And so there's no way to properly vaccinate this mass wave of illegal invaders that are coming into our country.
Countries have all of these diseases very prevalent.
That we've wiped out.
There's one disease that nothing can touch, and that is called when you have when you are what's known as an untouchable. That is the worst looking case of measles you've ever seen in your life, and when you have that, everybody never comes near you.
Yeah.
People in the Middle East that have what they call I don't know what that disease, but it's...
I don't know. Okay. All right. I appreciate the call, Joe. Take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Sandra from Delray.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, how are you guys? I enjoy listening to you most every day. But anyway, the reason I'm calling is no one seems to mention about the method of the immigrants coming in. It's like a third world country. I mean, years ago we had Ellis Island. We had them coming in, as quota, and then there were medical people there to check them, and if they weren't right, they were put in a hold, and so forth. It was way back.
Well, and
Well, I'll tell you what scares me. What scares me about the whole thing is everybody's so preoccupied with the immigration problem, but nobody's talking about the mechanism for sending them back.
Trump.
That's exactly it. But that's it. Trump. After Trump, there's no... You figure there'd be a certain group that would be consist of people who were on the road to sent back where they came from.
This just the other day, the deportations are going to start on Inauguration Day. Right after he takes the oath, it's going to start.
If it was anybody but Trump, I'd be skeptical.
But here's the thing. You talk about Ellis Island, and they don't teach this in school because they don't want to teach this. During those eras of time, there were very strict quotas on immigration. It was based on the nation of origin. Only so many Italians, so many French, so many Irish each year. So there was always strict enforcement of immigration into this country. Now it's free for all.
Right, but what about the method? They're going through the water. What kind of country is this? It's a third world country.
We're a third world country run by a senile old coot who takes bribes. And he has two junky kids that are his front people. Yeah, I know, it's disgusting. Thanks for the call. If you're on hold, stand by. I want to just remind people that, the free shipping at mypillow.com with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, is site-wide. Everything on the site is free shipping, not just the things I highlight. When I talk about different things, I talk about what I consider to be the must-haves and my faves, because I live in a MyPillow household. My whole house is MyPillow. By the way, I have bought everything using the promo code Kane, because the prices you save up to 80%. Sometimes they'll call and ask to send this or that. You want to try out that? I already have it every time. But the free shipping with our promo code Kane, Kane, is site-wide at mypillow.com. No matter how big or small the item is, free shipping on all items at mypillow.com with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane.
All right, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated in Boca with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how are the metals looking?
Metals looking very good. The market's continuing to recover after that buying opportunity we had a week ago when gold got down to that support level of $1,990 and then turned around and went right back up. And as I mentioned, the last day of trading, we saw a great buying opportunity, but I thought that the markets would turn around and end up on the day, and they did exactly that. Yesterday, in a modified trading yesterday, closing early, the market still gained $4.20 on gold, closing out the day at $2,017.40. Silver was down 42 cents at $22.97. Platinum lost $7 at $8.98. And palladium was up $5 at $9.37 today. Gold up $12 right now at $2,029 after trading in a range so far this morning at $2,017 to $2,031. Silver up 18 cents right now at $23.15 the ounce. Platinum up $14 at $912, and palladium gaining $19 at $9.56. So gold pushing its way back up, of course, well over 2,000 now, but possibly heading for those old highs of over 2,100.
That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. Now, when it comes to gold, how are the those beautiful American Gold Eagles and American Gold Buffaloes? Are those priced to buy right now?
They absolutely are. All of the products are back down to normal premiums, and you can enjoy buying American products now and saving literally hundreds of dollars on premiums right now. So great buying up on the U.S. Gold Eagles and the Buffaloes, as are all the other products priced well.
And does that apply? Does that apply to the Silver Eagles, which were crazy not long ago? How are they looking today?
Yeah, the Silver Eagles are on sale and great value. They're back to normal. $15 an ounce that they were at one point.
Yeah.
Premium. That's a great buying opportunity. Wonderful buy for Steve Kane listeners. 100-ounce bars at just $1 over spot.
You hear that, guys? Wow, that's amazing. 100-ounce bars. All right, William Youngerman opens up at 10 a.m. Stop in at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway, on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. And William Youngerman's shop is actually located in the lobby of the building right across from the bank. You can also call. He opens at 10 a.m., 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010. And if you missed the address of the phone number, just go to his website and get it there, WilliamYoungerman.com, WilliamYoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow.
Okay, have a great day.
Mm-hmm. We'll be right back.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show.
All right, only one opening on our board where William Youngerman was at 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. I want to remind everyone, if you're retired or planning on retiring, call Joe Thomas. You know, Joe Thomas, he's offering free copies of his book, of course, The Retirement Know-It-All, which is a very good book. I read it. It is a quick read filled with useful and actionable tips for anyone who's retired or planning on retiring at any point in life. But Joe Thomas is also offering free phone consultations for listeners of this program. And that free phone consultation is available to you no matter where you are located. Talk to him about annuities. You know, with annuities, you're not going to lose your money from stock market losses. They're protected. So stop losing your money. And you can also generate income when you're retired. And hey, listen, when you're retired, prices go up and golf's expensive and wife wants to get her hair done. You want a new car. That extra revenue stream can come in handy. If you have a 401k with an employer or a former employer, or a financial account with a financial person somewhere and you'd like to move it into an annuity, Joe Thomas can take care of that for you too. His number, 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And his website, jupiterjoe.com. If you missed the number, just go to jupiterjoe.com and you can get the number there. All right, our only one opening. Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Kevin from Delray.
Yes, Kevin.
Yeah. Good morning, Steve. Good morning, Brian. Brian, first I want to say my sadness for your dog there.
Oh, thank you.
A point of interest. I joined the Army in 1968, and it was mandatory on the application if I ever had any measles, mumps, chicken pox, and then we had to go through the vaccination, just like the other gentleman just spoke about before. When we had to go into other countries and stuff, we had to have been vaccinated. So I just wanted to bring that out, and that was 1968. Okay. And
yeah.
And young boy, measles and mumps and chicken pox was all out there.
Yeah, but they're gone now. They were gone, and now they're back. You know, there's a lot of things. You know, like polio is even springing up again, which we rid our society of, and it is because of the southern border, just like the crime wave. Just like New York cops getting the tar beat out of them again. It's all because of the southern border.
And plus, you know, what Biden's doing, like, well, what has he done? He has done nothing.
No.
I just don't want to hold you.
All right, well, I appreciate the call. Thanks so much. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Joellen from Fort Lauderdale.
Hey, Joellen.
Hey, I heard that DeSantis' name is going to be on the primary ballot because they couldn't.
That's nonsense. The primary is like in August, isn't it?
I don't know, but
give me a freaking break. They give me a break.
They said they already had printed it and it was too late to take them off the.
What a bunch of garbage. Okay, well, good for him. Let him get creamed. I hope it's on there. I hope it is. I hope it is, DeSantis. By the way, can you come to Broward and take care of the measles outbreak, DeSantis?
Yeah. So anyways, about, I don't know anything about the measles, but talking about third world country, I mean, I go to my laundromat, and I am basically about the only person that's in there that's white anymore. And sometimes... All
right, why do I come on. That's not what we're talking about today, and that's very strange. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is JJ from Mass. Good morning, gentlemen.
Hey, JJ.
Hey, Steve. It's pretty sad stuff with this measles thing going on down there, Brian. It's serious.
Yeah.
It's the most, measles is one of the most infectious.
Listen, the last time I heard about a measles outbreak was where you're calling from, Massachusetts. When Obama was president, there was a measles outbreak in a school district, and not in Boston. I can't remember the town. And at the time, it was directly reported it was because of illegals who were enrolled in the Massachusetts schools.
Absolutely, because, like you said, we've defeated it here in our country, and when that happens, the virus is dead. There's no vector for it, and the way it gets reintroduced into the populace is from, like you said, the southern border, all these illegals, and the illegals are coming from like 150 countries.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that's more than measles, but when measles gets into a place where, you know, where there's a few people it can infect, that's when it can go crazy. I mean, it's the most infectious thing there is. Now, it's very scary for older people that haven't had it. And another thing, Brian, that I have been in, Steve, that I've been reading over the past like 6 to 12 months worth of these studies that have come out about the not COVID, but the shots and immune systems.
Maybe, I don't know, but I don't want to get sidetracked on every vaccine ever. But I'll tell you this, okay? I don't know how back in the days when measles were a thing. I don't know how severe it was or deadly it was, but the people we're hearing from, we heard from 5 people that had measles. 4 of them had measles when Eisenhower was president. 1 of them when Kennedy was president. Think about that.
63. So I mean, I was.
Did you have the measles?
I did not.
Okay.
I think in 7.
Well, there you go. See, there you go. So that.
In New Hampshire, there's not too many people.
So what I'm telling you is these are things that we rid our nation of like 60 plus years ago. And you know, and I know some people say, well, they survived, I'll survive. Well, who wants to go through that crap? And who knows that everybody survived? I don't know. All right, JJ, take care. Thanks for the call. Every line on our board is lit, and I'm going to try to get through as many of these as I can. So try to get to the point quick when you get on. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian from Deerfield.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Brian. Hi, Steve. How are you today? If anybody thinks Joe Biden has done anything good for this country, they're out of their mind. And the simple proof is look at the executive orders this guy signed from day one. He started with the oil industry destroying our energy, and he hasn't stopped since then. And this has been a deliberate attack to destroy this country.
I tell you, you right-winger guys, you didn't hear the report yesterday? He was on the list of presidents. He was listed as the 14th greatest. President Trump was last. So what are you talking about? What are you talking? Didn't you see the list? How can you say this about this president? Yeah, I'm serious. Did you see that, Steve? You saw it. 14th greatest president. Right behind Lincoln. Number one was Lincoln. A Republican. But that was,
Lincoln and Biden on the same list? Oh, for God's sakes. It's a disgrace what this guy's done.
14th greatest president in history, Joe Biden. It said it yesterday. It was all widely reported.
This is an abomination.
President Trump was the worst on that list.
Really?
Yes, the worst.
Big surprise.
Shocker.
I saw two short videos yesterday and two different reactions to them. One when Trump came back and he played a round of golf on President's Day, I guess in Palm Beach.
Yes.
There must have been 1,000 MAGA people there to greet him. Absolutely heartwarming, just fantastic. I also saw that NYPD dance video.
Oh, yeah.
I should never have seen the light of day. How low has the NYPD fallen?
Do you know, my goodness, did they have any physical requirements with the NYPD? Oh, my goodness, put some clothes on those women. The thing about it is, in Florida, we got, all these New Yorkers moved to Florida over the years. That's been a thing. But, this is a true thing. This is not a joke, what I'm about to say. Okay? People will think I'm being sarcastic, and it's true. Criminals are moving to New York to do crime because they know they can get away with it. Do you understand that? It's like in Colorado, when they legalized marijuana, a lot of stoners moved to Colorado. And criminals are moving to New York because there are no penalties. You can beat up cops and then get released for dinner and give the finger to everybody when you're walking out, and do another crime that day and be home for breakfast. I mean, there's no, and that's New York, man.
Well, I agree with you, Brian. That is the double finger to the people, to the American citizens. That was an inflection point that won't be forgotten.
That's right.
That's the turning point there, hopefully.
All right, take care, man. Good to hear from you. All right, every line is just lighting up. Let's go. You're on the air. We're almost out of time. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Dave from Pompano. Good morning, guys.
Hey, Pompano.
A couple things. It's a beautiful sunny day here in South Florida, to say the least. The glass is always half full where I come from. How about you, Steve?
Oh, my goodness.
Well, what are you asking me? Yes, I'm here.
Just asking. The glass is half full. The glass is half full.
Well, the glass will be fully full when Tom gets back in, but until then, it's going to be a tough sled.
Well, yeah, one day at a time. It's a beautiful morning. But anyways, when I go to my laundromat, I wish I ran into people like that lady called earlier.
Yeah.
Cut off.
You mean cut off? You mean like this? Yes, okay. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hey, Macho, what's up? Oh, my goodness. Yes, you're on the air.
Hi, Helen from Massachusetts.
Yes, Helen.
Regarding the measles outbreak and all the diseases that are coming in from illegal aliens, there are 2 leprosy clinics in San Diego close to the border.
Leprosy clinics? Why would they have leprosy clinics? Why would they have those?
Geez, I wonder why.
Leprosy's back?
Yes.
I thought that was I thought leprosy was gone on the planet. Oh.
Their original name, Hansen's disease. But
Hansen's disease. They call it Hansen's disease. I guess that's because parts of your hand fall off. Okay. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
James from Boca.
Hey, James.
The only thing I have to say for Florida is that we need to get rid of DeSantis because he signed a bill saying that anybody that brought any illegals into this state would be reprimanded or arrested.
Mm-hmm.
We have 1.5 million of them here.
Yes.
So how did they get here, and what else is he going to do to help us? That's all
I don't know. Get off his high heels and take care of business. The measles are back, Gov. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Alan Lakewood Beach. Disney World.
The Disney World, the drinking again. Is it good morning to him, Steve, or is the night not ended yet?
Wait, baby, one more time.
Oh my goodness. Yes. You're on the air.
Is this me?
5 seconds.
Yes, this is Sherry Craig from Texas.
All right, thank you for your call. We're out of time. I just didn't want Al to be the last call of the day. I shouldn't have taken that call. All right, we'll see you tomorrow morning, 6 a.m.
WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar. WIRK 103.1.
All right, guys, if you're new, make sure you subscribe. And everyone like the video before you go, guys, all right? Okay, thanks so much, everyone. I will see you later.